Today on Suncoast View, the Suncoast social scene. Are there too many nonprofits and galas and not enough money going to their missions? We'll discuss.
Manatee schools are asking for voter support in a special election. We'll sit down with the superintendent to find out what the money would be used for.
And dog lovers are getting ready for the ultimate spotlight. We go behind the scenes at the Westminster Dog Show with a Suncoast judge. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show and welcome back to Sheba Mateo. Great to have you with us.
Great to be here as usual. Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you brought your germ shield because we are all a little chesty.
Yes.
Both Linda and I have got it in the chest today.
Yes,
And it's always in my voice. I never get sick anywhere but my voice.
And Joey had it last week, so I'm just blaming him because he's obviously stuck in the middle here.
I know last week I felt so bad for anybody who heard me talk.
Now you should feel bad for us because apparently we caught it. So.
Well, I can translate if you need.
Okay, good.
We will be just fine. A lot of things going around, so lots of rest and liquids for everybody, and good cooking in the kitchen makes everything better, and so does dessert from what I understand. We're going to check in with Chef Jamil from Michael's on East today. What are we making?
We're going to do almost a 70-year-old recipe from New Orleans for Mardi Gras. It's a banana foster, so it's going to have so much fun and a lot of fire. So.
Ooh, fire. We like fire. I see bananas, and I'm hoping that isn't a pile of butter I see, but I suspect it might be.
It's cholesterol-free, so we're good.
Oh, good. Good. No problem. Good to know. There's no calories once you set it on fire.
Oh, yeah. Once the fire goes out, everything goes out the window.
Perfect.
So it should be fun.
All right.
Bananas Foster, I used to coat check at a restaurant in Rockefeller Center when I was younger. And I was poor, and I would coat check, and the restaurant made the most amazing Bananas Foster every night, and people would order it. So around like 8:30 to 10, I would just sit there, and my mouth would water with hands full of $1 bills from coat checking, praying that somebody would send it back so I could have it.
Exactly.
And saying one day I'll be rich enough to have banana
order
foster.
bananas.
I'll eat like a king. Yes.
And I'm not sure I've ever had it, to be quite honest. So I'm very excited because
You're
bananas
gonna
are one of my
always love
favorites.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I bet I will.
Yes.
Well, good. Lots of fun things to look forward to. If you missed it, we had a real treat yesterday that we want to share with everybody. Audrey Landers, a good friend of the show, and of course, a big Suncoast star. You know her from her TV days from Dallas, but she is also an acclaimed singer and composer. So she is going to do a show called From Dallas with Love coming up February 11th and 12th. And she, like everything she does, just has such a sexy, sultry sound and presence about her. I was transfixed watching her sing.
Yes, yeah.
And she arranges. She's a brilliant woman.
Yeah, she's a musician. I mean, she's not just a singer, she is a true musician.
Yeah, and her singing career, her career started as a singer when she was about 16, I believe, and she had lots of big hits, and then became more of an actress from there.
Yeah, it was so nice to see her go back to her roots, and I'm thrilled that she's doing it right here on the Suncoast. So,
fantastic.
a nice opportunity for you to maybe see a different side of Audrey than you've known before. So get those tickets, they are going fast. It is time for our first hot topic, and many love our Suncoast social scene, but a nonprofit expert says Sarasota has too many galas and too many nonprofits. A Herald Tribune op-ed piece quotes Nancy Lubin. She is the creator of Dress for Success. She spoke in Sarasota last week, and Lubin called out our gorgeous parties and galas and asked if the money would be better used for the missions. She also said too many nonprofits are redundant, and we need to merge like businesses would to get more impact for the causes. A little controversial statement, I suspect there. What do you think?
Well, I've often wondered that. Couldn't we just give the money for the dinner and not have to go to the dinner? But we had the circus gala last week. It was awesome. And it got a lot of people interested in the circus. And it made a lot of money that will support Sailor Circus, that will support the humor therapy that goes into nursing homes. So it's doing a huge amount of good.
But does it make more money than the ticket price?
Absolutely.
Donation?
By 2 or 3, maybe 4 times.
So I think it depends, and I don't think it's necessarily only the ticket price that the non-for-profit world struggles with. They're competing for dollars. They're competing for grant money. And a lot of times when it comes to completing applications for those grants, that's where you see the overlap. So you have some organizations that are operating at a surplus, some organizations that are operating at almost a deficit for the exact same grant money. Right. So that's where it becomes a little tricky. The dinners, I shied off a little bit this year, and actually last year. It's a lot, and there are a few, I'd say, philanthropic efforts that really are able to give to that particular cause, that are able to target. So I would almost agree.
Well, we certainly have, we do not have a shortage of nonprofits here. We have lots of, and I believe it's because our community is really interested in making things better. So they do find causes. But I think the challenge is that, a high ticket price, a lot of times that nonprofit does have to pay per person a high price as well. So are they getting that same money back? I've seen a lot of our local nonprofits move to smaller events. I think they call them now friend raisers. And it's more about getting their mission and organization, maybe some members, or if they help youth, getting some of the youth there to meet potential partners, donors, board members. So I think sometimes a great party, Wine, Women, and Shoes is awesome, so much fun. A great party is great, but if it really doesn't have anything to do with the mission, I do wonder, is there something you could do that would align better with, what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, I think a lot of the galas, like the Circus Gala, the opera, they have performances. Perlman, they have performances. So you see what the goal is. You see who you're helping, and you learn enough about that organization that you know whether or not you want to help.
That's true. It is easier when performing is your product. Entertainment is your product, then you can bring that right to a gala. But if it isn't, if it's about literacy or about rescuing animals or something, that's where it gets a little harder.
It does get confusing. I think, it is a slippery slope, and I think a lot of times, like those larger events that you were talking about, it's a way, they're trying to figure out ways, I think, to just get a larger constituency to understand the mission, and how do you do that? I mean,
get the word out.
That's right.
And a good party is a good way to get the word out.
It's true.
So, I mean, there's definitely
no one has
two
invented
sides.
another model to help nonprofits raise money, so that's why the gala is kind of the go-to.
That's right.
Interesting that they picked our area to come and discuss it with.
we have
a
so
big
many.
social scene.
We do.
Absolutely, which is something to be proud of, because we also have a lot of giving.
That's
So
right. That's
there's
right.
definitely some positives there. Well, nearly 50 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. formed the Poor People's Campaign to wage a war on poverty and ask for an economic Bill of Rights. So this fizzled out with his death. But this week, the movement has been revived in 32 states, including Florida. The campaign is backing lawmakers and bills that protect low-income individuals. Supporters say Florida's entire economy is based on low minimum wage, no benefits, and little job security. Primarily, that is because of our dependence on the service industry. What do you think? They made a big ruckus at the Capitol yesterday and all across the country.
That's great, because poor people don't speak up for themselves. They're too busy trying to earn a living. They don't have time to go to Tallahassee or wherever.
Well, the definition of poor is alarming in this study to me, because there are people who are employed, there are people who are working 40 hours a week, and how many times have we heard it? There are people who can't afford, the working poor, people who can't afford to support their family.
That's right. They're living below the poverty line.
Yes.
Or right at the poverty line. It's always been an issue, and I think what's happening, or what we see more so because of social media, is that you have population growth as well, right? So now we're thinking, how do we handle technically battle for resources, right? So it all starts with our capitalistic society and consumption and the workforce, and how do we provide that for the masses? How do we provide livelihoods for a larger population? So it's the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly.
We said a lot of service industry here, and remember, it wasn't that long ago where off-season, once we hit May or June, a lot of restaurants would cut back their hours, or they would close altogether if they didn't last.
Unfortunately, that's not happening anymore. I saw another statistic, and I mentioned it to Joey because I was so surprised. Orlando is like per capita with wage at the bottom of the barrel for U.S. metropolitan areas.
Goodness, that is shocking.
Well, but think about the jobs that are there, though. I mean, we know that the theme parks obviously employ thousands of people, but those are not high-paying jobs, and that is not a cheap place to live. So, people are trying to live in that metropolitan area on low wages, and it's sort of like the reason Florida is highlighted in this group.
And then, like T-shirt stores and everything. I mean, a lot of Orlando becomes a boulevard, and so there are those small.
So it may have a vibrant tourism economy, but that doesn't mean the people living there are doing well economically.
Correct.
So something we can think about as a state. All right, so girls like to have girl things, but do we need girl food? Well, Doritos thinks so. The company will reportedly be unveiling a Doritos chip marketed to women. The new chip will be quieter, not so much crunch, packaged differently, and not leave that orange dust all over the fingers. Well, thank you for that. Doritos claims that women snack differently than men. Men don't mind licking their fingers and sucking out the bottom of the bag. Well, the internet does not like this discrimination, and obviously social media went wild. What do you think?
Well, you know me. I don't think I would take it that far, but I do think that the research is there, right? In terms of being able to enjoy a snack, for instance. Like when I was dating, I would not drink red wine at all because it stains your teeth. Yes.
I would not eat Doritos on a date because my fingers would be
That's
orange.
exactly. So the research is there. I just think in terms of that marketing aspect of it, it doesn't need to be geared toward, only female.
Yes.
It could just be, more
This
conscious.
is not a time to segregate
No,
here.
this is definitely
and
not
we're
a
doing
time.
that more and
No.
more. That
Yes.
really bothers me.
Me too.
We're
I agree.
separating the sexes
Yes.
more and
Do
more.
you want orange fingers?
I do not. I'm a man. I do not want orange fingers.
Exactly.
And
Zoo breath.
I used to work next to the guy who had the desk next to me at an old job. Said that I crunched my almonds too loud, and it used to annoy him. So he would have bought me this bag of Doritos for girls.
Yeah, I think the marketing spiel is a little off there, and just kind of missing the times.
It's just weird when we see Target separating, like, all right, there aren't bed sheets for boys and bed sheets for girls,
Right.
that type of thing, and then all of a sudden now you have this.
Yeah, we've worked so hard to
Yeah.
make sure that women in general do not feel that, and now you have a.
Now we're making the men
Yeah,
feel
But
that
we
way.
have shaving cream for girls and boys, and we all know a shave is a shave when it turns to the cream. I mean,
Yeah.
there are things that you can get away with it, and there are things when you can't.
And you know what? I mean, to play devil's advocate here, if you're Doritos, you're looking for any other subgroup that we can market directly
right,
to,
right,
so we can
right,
have
right.
another
True, true,
product.
true.
So,
Well, those women are eating them in private.
yeah, exactly. Girls are eating them in the closet,
closet,
anyway.
in the
If you could get
Quietly.
one that didn't make our breath smell, that would be the one I'd really like. All right, well, when McDonald's asks you if you want fries with that, perhaps you should consider saying yes if you want to keep your hair. In one of the stranger studies I've seen lately, scientists have discovered a link between McDonald's French fries oil and a cure to baldness. The oil is used to create hair follicle germs in areas of hair loss. It has been tested on mice with excellent results. So perhaps eating French fries would give you the same result. Do you like to be fat, bald, both, neither?
Right,
I can see myself right now, honey. Let me go to McDonald's. By the way, my daughter's never had McDonald's, so let me go to McDonald's and make you some fries because I want your hair to be nice and long and healthy.
right,
Not.
there are lots of things I would try to cover up this spot back here, but,
French
chowing
fries.
down on McDonald's fries every day is not one of them.
I'm more alarmed by
rub
the
the grease
fact
up here.
that oil grows hair. Like, maybe, how do we know it's not going to grow hair other places too?
Can
you
we
know?
just sleep with a bag of takeout right on our head or on our pillow? Because I might try that. But I
And
don't
why
need
are we
twins yet.
studying McDonald's French fry oil and
who
hair
thought of
growth?
that?
Paid
Someone
for the
has
study.
too much time on their hands.
But who paid for the study?
Right.
Need I say more?
Probably. Okay, so we've been told that Monopoly causes more family fights than any other board game in the home. And much of it revolves around, were you cheating? So if you can't beat them, join them. Hasbro has decided, since nearly half of the game's players try to cheat, they are now releasing Monopoly Cheaters Edition. So you're still trying to be the player with the most money at the end of the game, but this version asks players to get away with as much cheating as possible during the game. So you can steal money for the bank, you can pass go when you're not supposed to, all the things that who gets the money from the pot in the middle, all those, any big Monopoly fights at
Teaches
home.
you to be a criminal, huh?
Well, it teaches you to evade the system.
Well,
perhaps.
and that is a part of business sometimes. So if we wonder where it came from, I think that if it makes the game go a little bit shorter, I'm all in. Because some days, if they have a Monopoly, we'll only play for an hour edition, I would be all in.
Right.
Those
We
are
need a
some marathons.
magnetic board in my house because the children with tempers, which would be all of them, have been known to fly it when they get mad.
Yes. No, it's usually only my husband because my daughter usually wins. Like he's the one that's the sore loser. But anyway, I just think we're again missing the mark here because it's not about us. It's not about the adults sitting down playing the game. We know right from wrong. This is a children's game, and granted that might not be the one that parents would opt to buy, but we are teaching, and it's just that mentality that's becoming.
That it's
I feel
okay to
so
cheat.
pervasive
Right.
now.
The person that wins is the
cheat.
person that
It's okay
evades
to
the
lie.
system.
It's okay to not tell the truth. It's okay in certain settings. So I just.
I think that's wrong.
I'm a prude.
And besides, it's not real money.
I know, that's true. Well, there has been, and I think, you can find this anywhere with a Google search, there are some Monopoly rules that we might not all be playing correctly, and those would shorten the game. So maybe not cheating, but again, shorter games.
Joey's all for a shorter game. Shorter Monopoly, I'm there.
He has a short patience with that one. We're going to check out our happy hour forecast. So we come back, some very important information about Manatee Schools special election.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your happy hour forecast and your first alert weather. We're looking at beautiful weather this afternoon. Taking a look at the Sarasota Bay webcam, looking out over Sarasota Bay from Van Wezel. You can see just some high cirrus clouds once again moving in from the west. Overhead should be another gorgeous sunset tonight. Currently we have mostly sunny and 77 degrees. Dew point temperatures up there too at 65. Winds out of the west-southwest at 7. Little sea breeze has kicked in, keeping things a little bit cooler right along the area beaches. 30-21 on the barometer. That continues to stay high. And you can see from the satellite review, and not much going on, just a jet stream very active over the Gulf of Mexico right now, the subtropical jet. And looks like temperatures in the 80s now. We had some 80s into the Orlando area, 82 degrees there. We had some low 80s east of the interstate here, 78 now into Key West. Your evening planner looks good. Any plans outdoors, not a problem. 65, generally fair skies by 11 o'clock. We'll have much more in your forecast coming up at 5.
The Manatee School District is asking voters to go to the polls on March 20th for a special election. It's to decide on a school referendum, and if approved, the money would be used to make some big changes in the district. Superintendent Dr. Diana Green is here to tell us about those proposed changes. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you. I'm honored.
So tell us about this voting. What are you asking the voters for?
We're asking the voters on March 20th to approve a 1 mil increase to their property taxes, which 1 mil is $1 per $1,000 on assessed value, minus a homestead exemption. So if a home costs $225,000, or its value is $225,000, minus $25,000 for homestead exemption, it means $200 a year. So about $17 a month.
Oh my goodness. Well, what will the bulk of this money be used for?
Well, the bulk of this money would be used for competitive salaries for teachers, paraprofessionals, our school-based administration, anyone who is directly at a school or provides services directly to students. It does not include the school board. It does not include my salary or any district level administrators or individuals who do not directly impact students.
That's great.
I hear you have some staff shortages now. that you need to fill.
Absolutely. We have close to 100 instructional vacancies.
Oh.
And when you include our support staff, it's almost 300 vacancies. Wow. Today, many students are waiting at the bus stop for 30 to 40 minutes longer.
What a shame.
Last week, we had over 50 bus drivers and bus aides out. And so we are already starting with a shortage. But when someone, as you know, we have the flu going around, and when people are out, it just makes it more difficult. I was at an elementary school yesterday, and 10 individuals were out. It makes it quite difficult to get substitutes because we are competing with Sarasota for substitutes, and at that school they could only hire 2 subs. So the other classrooms, they had to divide the children up and put into other teachers' classes.
Oh, that's so bad for the kids.
Yes.
Will this impact the length of the school day if it passes?
Yes, we are hoping to add 30 additional minutes to the student day. So today, an average elementary student starts school at 8:30 and gets out at 2:50. If this passes, the average elementary school would start about 8:05 and would be releasing around 3:05 or 3:10. It just depends on the timing of buses.
What are you saying to the voters who don't have kids in the schools? Why should they vote for this?
Well, we are the largest employer in Manatee County, and the economic vitality, it goes along with a very strong school district. We are competing against Sarasota and Pinellas County. Both counties have an additional mill. Sarasota has 1, Pinellas has 0.5, and we no longer can compete. The average teacher in Sarasota makes a little over $54,000. The average teacher in Manatee makes close to $46,000.
Oh, that's not fair.
I would agree. And when our employees are able to focus on educating in the classroom and not concerned about their being able to pay their bills or their mortgage, this just improves our school district. And the job of a teacher today is very different than when we were in school, and very difficult.
Very difficult.
And when you are right next door to a school district where they can still live in Manatee County and go next door and make anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 more,
That's right.
it's not a really hard decision.
Yes.
And so this is not about the school district. We are financially solvent. We are but we cannot compete against these other districts that have an additional millage.
Real quick with those extra 30 minutes, I know that has come up in discussion quite a bit. What is the school's intention with that extra time? Like, what could be accomplished?
Well, many things can be accomplished. As you know, last year the law changed where we had to add 20 minutes of recess. So you have to figure out how the pie is only so big.
Right.
So schools can add more time to, they have the flexibility. It may be that this school, their weakness is mathematics. So now you can add maybe 20 minutes to mathematics.
Oh, great.
We want well-rounded students, so art, music, physical education, those are instructional topics
And they
too.
take time.
And they take time.
Yes,
and
that's
so we
right.
want to ensure that we can not only compete with Sarasota, but ensure that our students have a well-rounded education.
We all want that, yes. And you can vote if you live in Manatee County. Go to the special election. It is March 20th. And for more information about polling places and times, go to votemanatee.com. Next, we're going to get a preview of Circus Sarasota.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
The Big Top is up next to Nathan Benderson Park, and circus performers from all around the world are here to perform in Circus Sarasota. This year's theme is Ovation, celebrating 250 years of modern circus history. And here to give us a preview is Kirill Rakovitz. Take it away, Kirill. Look at you. Don't fall.
We were all holding our breath.
Yes,
How does he get down?
Seriously.
And they're not stuck together. Look at this.
Goodness.
So how did you know you could do this? When was the first time you did it?
Well, my parents are circus performers as well, so they kind of have been around this area. So I've seen my dad made me some plastic ones really long time ago, when I was like 10 probably, but I was kind of like a lazy kid, I guess, so I kind of end up dusting in the attic. But then when I turned like around 15, 16, I kind of decided to revisit this, and I really fell in love with this, so I keep doing it, and now 10 years later, we do cool stuff like that.
Wow. Do you ever fall?
Well, actually, of course, yes.
Oh.
But as a matter of fact, with this stuff, it's really important because it's dangerous. You have to learn how to fall properly. So many times I will just have like a practice section of me falling on purposely, so I can teach myself how to fall without getting hurt. So for sure, yeah.
Oh, wow, we can't wait to see you. You've got to see Circus Sarasota. It is coming. It opens on Friday night, February 9th, and it runs through March 4th. For tickets and information, go to the Circus Arts website. And I'm Master of Ceremony Friday night, so I'll see you there. Next, all about the Westminster Dog Show.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Everyone likes the 2018 Honda Civic for $169 a month. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. You'll like Civic's 5-star safety ratings and that KBB.com named Civic a Best Buy and the most awarded car. Get the 2018 Civic at a payment you'll love. $169 a month today at your local Honda dealer.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter and I'm here for you.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Chef Jamil from Michael's on East. And I know, Chef, we're celebrating Mardi Gras a little early today, but let's skip ahead to Valentine's Day. Tell me what's going on at Michael's on East.
Now we're going to be having, what we do on Valentine's Day, we take the menu You know, a lot of when you come to dinner, a lot of people order a lot of the things, you know, for like the snapper colony or the veal chop. So we take all the favorites from the menu and condense into a very small menu. So when you come in, you don't have so many choices, and then you can get back to the conversation that you have with your loved one. And you know, at the end of the day, all the ladies will get a nice, beautiful rose. So you know, if you want to make your reservations, we got a great, great, great night. And luncheon as well. So you know, we're going to be open for lunch and dinner. So come in and have some fun and have some very romantic dinner on, with us and have some fun.
We look forward to it. Wednesday, February 14th, coming right up. We'll see you in a little bit for Bananas Foster. Joey.
Thank you.
Since 1877, the purebred dog has been celebrated in New York City at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Only the Kentucky Derby boasts a longer continuous run as a sporting event. Luckily, pet trendologist Charlotte Reed is a huge fan of Westminster, and she's here to teach us more about the famous event. So I love when you're here because we get to learn a little bit more every year, and I feel like I'm almost an expert.
I mean, after last year's, remember last year's trivia game we did? You know, I love purebred dogs. I love all dogs. And really, Westminster, whether you have a rescue dog or whether you have a purebred dog, really is a celebration of all dogs. And it's a great way to learn about your breed or your mixed breed dog.
Yes, and I know a lot of us, you know, we like to see the dogs and we enjoy watching, you know, the competition, but we don't really know everything that goes into it. So why, from your perspective, you're an animal lover, why should it be on our bucket list to go one time?
Because, like I said, it's a celebration of dogs. All these great dogs in one place, like the yearly Dog Olympics or the Super Bowl, you know, or, so it's great. I mean, Ty here, I mean, English Toy Spaniel, Morrow here is wearing Team USA. So, and it's distinctive, something that represents Americana, you know, that we've really perfected over the years. And it's just so lovely. And for something that's 142 years old, you can imagine all of the history that's gone by.
Well, that's my question. 149 years ago it started. 142 years ago it started. So I know you have a couple fun historical tidbits of other things that were around then to give you an idea.
Okay, well, think about it like this. President Grant was the president in 1876. That's the year ketchup was invented. Who doesn't like ketchup? Okay. The Battle of the Little Bighorn took place, Custer's last stand, where Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse basically killed 5,000 American troops, which is unfortunate. Wild Bill Hickok, if anybody's a Western fan, he was killed that year due to a card game.
Oh.
So, I mean, they're all the, Tom Sawyer was written.
When we look, it's funny to think that Westminster had its roots the same time some of these events that seem so long ago.
Yes,
you brought us, I know, some really fun photos, like right here. Tell us what we're looking at.
So, believe it or not, this is the Westminster Hotel, which is right near Union Square. It's on Irving and 18th Street. And if you can see the picture, it's hard, I know, to see it, but they're horses and carriages. So, basically, think of, there was a bar, kind of like the Cheers atmosphere. The guys used to go, they used to brag about their dogs after shooting, and that is why Westminster is named the Westminster Kennel Club.
Oh, wow.
Because they used to meet and drink, of course, at the Westminster Hotel.
Now, I know that the women's movement has had a resurgence. We've seen it in many ways over the last several years, but how has Westminster kind of stayed with the times?
Well, you know, it's actually interesting, and you brought that up, because let me just check my date, because I want to get 1888.
Oh, bless you.
1888.
We have a feminist here, yes.
Was the year that Anne Whitney of the Whitney family, you know, Whitney Art Gallery, right. She was the first woman who judged Westminster.
Oh.
Okay, so, and Nellie Bly, the famous journalist, she wanted to go around the world in 80s days like the man who went before her. Well, she showed her Maltese. So everyone was happy to see her. And then just recently, the Board of Governors admitted their first woman. Her name is Dottie Collier. So that's really exciting. And her husband, who has passed on, he was also a member. And she's judged Best in Show many, many times.
Wow.
She's very well respected in the dog world.
Well, speaking of judging, I know that there are certain dogs that have been repeated winners and continue to be celebrated. So tell us a little bit about Warren Remedy.
Well, that was a smooth-coated fox terrier, and I believe he won 2 years in a row, and then he skipped a year, and then he won another year. He's won 3 times.
That's a good-looking
So that's actually
dog.
really interesting.
Yes.
Only to be compared to one of the very well-known handlers, Peter Green, who also has won as a handler 3 times.
Oh, now,
so
now I
and
see
he's a terrier man.
Fox Terriers are very popular. 3 times now the Fox Terrier has taken home the big prize.
Fox Terriers are, and you remember Asta. right? So Asta as well as the Smooth Coat have won, so that's kind of really interesting. I mean, Spaniels are really popular. They've won.
Yeah, let's talk about breeds. Let's talk
okay,
about
sure.
certain breeds that always do very well. So I'm holding out for a long-haired Chihuahua like my Lulu, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Collie. It's never happened.
Teacup Yorkie, please. Teacup
So
Yorkie.
Fox Terrier 14 times.
14 times. Very, very popular.
Wow, and this
dog.
is for Best in Show, so this obviously isn't just their breed, it's for the entire. And terriers. So terriers do very well. Scottish Terriers?
Scottish Terriers. Now, actually, Scottish Terrier won with a very wonderful gal named Angie. And actually, that was the year that we all went to Donald Trump's office, because if you recall, his mom is Scottish, so he wanted to meet the Scottish Deerhound. And that's actually the same time I met Donald Trump in his office. With the dog's name was, oh, I can't remember it.
Oh.
I can remember Angie.
Well, we'll have to check back.
But that's
and Spaniel, 6 times for a Spaniel. So a Spaniel kind of disrupted the Terrier trio
And
right there.
there have been a variety of Spaniels. I mean, Cocker Spaniels, and the oldest dog was a Spaniel, a Sussex Spaniel. And that was really interesting because that dog was 10 years old when it won.
Oh, all right, so there's hope for my Lulu. Now, I know you collect memorabilia from the show because you've gone numerous times, and I know there's a toy down there.
Joey, I've been going since I was 5, but I'm not going to tell you how long I've been going for, because then everyone in Sarasota would know how old I am, which is a lot older than
But do they give out, are there different
well, there's
souvenirs
always
for each
memorabilia.
year?
There's the catalog, there's the show guide.
This I love, this toy.
Okay, so this came from the 70s, and actually Pedigree at one point was a sponsor of the dog show. Now it is Purina, so I want to make sure. And actually they did a series of dogs, and it was Rottweilers, Collies, some of the more popular dog breeds. I found this about a year ago. It's the last piece of my collection of these series of dogs. So they did 4 series, so it's really kind of cool.
That's cool. Well, Charlotte, thank you so much.
I want
now
to show
you
you
can
one
hear,
more thing.
in just
One
a
more
bit,
thing.
you can hear Charlotte on her radio show, The Pet Buzz, on WWPR, or you can visit her website, charlottereed.com. While Charlotte shows us something, we're going to go to commercial, but I'm very excited because you said it was the year of the woman for Westminster. We are going to meet a Westminster judge. She lives right here on the Suncoast. We'll be right back.
Okay, so
this is actually...
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. A string of suspicious fires in Charlotte County and Northport under investigation. Why officials believe they were set intentionally. Plus, did the Bradenton area river regatta's attendance surpass last year's numbers? We'll find out. Let's get a check now on our weather today with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Scott, nice day today. Sunshine, plenty of it. We had a little cloudiness around this morning. No real threat of fog this morning. 77 degrees right now. The dew point still very high at 65. The pressure is up there, 30, 21. And when you have high pressure in control like that, usually means fair skies. That's what we'll see tonight. Just a few clouds developing. There could be a little bit of patchy fog. We were in the 80s in some inland areas, and it looks like that will be a trend, too, as things really warm up here. We have the west wind associated with those upper level winds, but mainly the surface wind out of the southeast. More in your warm forecast at 5.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Fact. The top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail, Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
Well, this is Morrow. Morrow's sticking around because Morrow enjoys the topic of dogs and the Westminster Kennel Club. So we just were recently learning about the history of the club and of the dog show. Well, there are more than 190 AKC registered breeds of dogs, and the judges have to know the details about each one intimately. Kiki Khan is a Westminster judge, and she's a Suncoast resident, and she's here to tell us what it's really like in the show ring. We're so happy you're here.
Yes. It's delighted to be here.
Well, tell me, how does one get started? When did you become a judge?
After I bred about 70 champions of Lhasa Apso.
So you started as a breeder?
I started as a breeder.
Oh.
And was that your first judge category, was the Lhasa Apso, since you had intimate knowledge of the breed?
Yes, they gave me 1 breed.
Okay.
And I worked up to almost 200.
Yeah, so this is really impressive. So explain how it works. Do you have to know a little bit about each breed?
It works because every breed, each of those breeds, has a standard. And the judge must know that standard. So when you become a judge and you become eligible to do these breeds, you must take oral, written, and practical exams.
Oh my.
On each breed?
On each breed.
And tell us how many breeds you are able to judge?
All of them.
200 breeds. Oh my, so you literally know the standard of every breed there is, AKC.
I'm supposed to.
I'm assuming you have to do a little cramming. That's amazing.
I always read the standard before I go to judge.
How common is it for a judge to be, able to judge that many breeds?
Very uncommon.
I noticed. I want to brag on it.
We want you to brag.
But it is a wonderful feeling and a wonderful job.
Yes. Now I know that there's a commitment in staying current with all the breeds and getting tested. How did that work, and how often did you have to go get tested?
I think that in the beginning, and remember it's a lot of years, every December, instead of buying Christmas presents, I studied breeds and took tests. It was my December thing.
Merry Christmas to some. You were brushing up on dogs.
And you have participated in numerous Westminster dog shows?
Yes, I've been there many times. I've done 3 toy groups.
Okay.
Which is sort of a record. Nobody else has ever done 3 of the same group at Westminster.
I have to ask a behind-the-scenes question. So we know they made a movie joking about the personalities of dog owners and all that. Does that really happen out there? I mean, is this a cutthroat owner pride competition?
Best in Show was a hysterical show, and it was very, very real.
It's like pageants, right? Pageant moms and dog owners.
Yes. Do they get mad at the judges?
I'm sure they do, but we don't pay any attention to them.
Now, I just want an example. Obviously, we can't learn everything about the 200 dogs, but give us an example of some of the standards you need to know. Like, for example, with the Golden Retriever, what are some of the things that the judges are looking for?
Well, the Golden Retriever has a size disqualification.
Oh, okay.
So the dog has to be within size.
So too big or too small?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it has to have a perfect bite.
That's interesting.
Or it's disqualified.
That's one of the things that you check when we see the judge go up?
You check immediately on the bite.
Okay.
Now, we used to do it ourselves, but in the last few years, we have the owner do it or the handler do it.
Why is that?
Because of biting?
So that we don't get any germs or...
Okay.
Interesting. Have you ever
it's a whole new thing.
Have you ever been bit by a dog? When
Once
you were
in my life.
Once?
Really?
Yeah.
And it was by my own breed.
Oh, wow. Now,
and it was in Canada.
How much room is there for personality of a dog? Is there any,
Not much.
No,
Really?
so it is it's strict
Not much.
by the
So
standards.
it's genetics. It's what is bred in the line.
Right.
And, the owner can't control the teeth.
It's difficult with our 2 minutes per dog.
Oh, sure.
To really get to know their personality.
Oh, wow. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, and we're so happy that you're right here on the Suncoast with our very own judge. Well, this year's Westminster Dog Show is coming up on February 12th and 13th. You can tune in. You can also go to their website, westminsterkennelclub.org. Coming up next, how is a library getting kids to read more? And this actually would have worked on me. We'll be right back.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
None of us are exempt from baggage.
I can't believe that any Christian would support that. They must somehow believe it's not true.
Multiple marriages, harassment allegations, and some stormy weather. But the president is getting a pass from many Christian supporters. I'm Alan Cohn, but not all Christian voters think alike. Meet me at the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Welcome back. So libraries are always trying to encourage kids to read more. Well, an LA library has a good idea. Involve money, right? Because the hardest thing about going to the library is remembering to return the books, and then you get the fines, and then things start to happen. So what the library is doing is that they are recognizing that even when the things come back late, people don't always have the money to pay, and that doesn't help anybody get to read. So you can read off your fines. So let's say I owe $5. If I read $5 worth of books, meaning they'll give me $1 for every book I read, then it credits it so that I'm getting credit to pay off my fines, because they realized it was a downward spiral.
This is great.
The kids are borrowing the books. Maybe it's taking them a little longer to read it, but if you have to pay money, you're not going to keep doing this. Nobody wants to pay money.
That's right.
So then you get credited back to it, and they're finding ways to keep kids who would not otherwise be reading.
My parents had to take away my library card when I was a kid because, as my father will tell you, there is a whole wing of that library that should have my name on it from the number of fines that he had to pay. I just didn't, I was a slow reader, and I wasn't good with deadlines, so I would forget to return it.
There's an empty wing where books used to be that you
the Joseph
out.
Panic
or the
wing.
or the wing he paid for.
Exactly. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it is. He paid for a wing when you add it all up together. So this is great.
Anything that encourages reading.
And it keeps the book in the library, right? Because the kids go there to read it?
Correct. The kids don't get to bring the old
Aha.
stuff. Yep. That's good thing. All right, well, we're going to be in the kitchen, and you're not going to have to pay us to go. We are running for Bananas Foster, and we're celebrating Mardi Gras.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. We're halfway through flu season, but still a few months to go. Why health officials are stressing the importance of healthy practices when visiting public places. And taking a quick look at our first alert traffic, right now traffic is backed up in Lido Key near St. Armand Circle, heading into downtown Sarasota. Let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob
No doubt all those people coming back from the beaches. A beautiful day today, 77 degrees right now. We have plenty of sunshine around. It's all a result of a large area of high pressure, which is going to stay in control. West to southwest winds at 7. Temperatures in the low 80s now into central Florida. Orlando at 82 degrees at 77 in Sarasota. The same now in Miami. And temperatures are warm, and they're going to stay that way through this evening. No problems, too. Looks like generally fair skies. We'll have your latest forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
It's Greek time! February 8th through the 11th at the 34th Annual St. Barbara Greek Festival. Bring your family and friends. Treat yourself to authentic Greek home cooking and pastries. Plus, dance to traditional Greek music. Visit a marketplace filled with crafts and jewelry from local artisans. Children will enjoy the kids zone and everyone will have a good time. Bring your appetites and spend a day in Greece without leaving the area. The Greek Festival at St. Barbara Greek Orthodox Church just north of University Parkway, where Lockwood and Talavast roads meet. Yasu!
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Coming up Wednesday at 4 on Suncoast View. Wait till you hear about the superstars coming to the Suncoast. We'll preview the hottest tickets in town with the Van Wezel, so you don't miss out on anything. It is Workout Wednesday, and we're going to spice it up and give pole fitness a try. This was not my idea. Plus an art exhibit featuring Sarasota architecture, and we celebrate Mardi Gras dishes in the kitchen with Chef Judy.
Welcome back. We are delighted to have Chef Jamil from Michael's on East with us here today. So tell me, what's going on? This smells delicious.
Oh, you get
already.
Cinnamon, sugar, butter, bananas.
Okay. What more do you need?
And rum. And rum. You have to have the rum all the time.
So what are we making?
So we're going to go ahead and start doing banana foster.
Okay.
This is actually a 67-year-old recipe from New Orleans.
Really?
So it's kind of fascinating the way it actually came out. And in the 1950s, they were starting getting bananas from South America and Central America. So, you know, they wanted to come up with a nice dish of something dessert and stuff like that. So, you know, the Bannons came in and they said, you know what, we're going to have our chef and create a dish, and then he created this beautiful flambe. So, you know, it's like, you took, basically right here, we took some butter.
Just a little butter.
Just a little butter.
Just a little.
Just a little. We're going to give it like a little right there.
Okay.
You see how much a little that is?
Wow.
Don't you worry. It's just I'm going to make
Look
the sauce.
away.
Don't look away.
It'll cook away.
It'll cook away right away. So you want to, when you want to do banana fuster or any type of a flambe that you want to do, you want to start the pan low. I mean high, but you want to start it from the beginning. You don't want the pan to be too high because you don't want to burn the butter.
Okay.
Sometimes the butter can actually get a little.
Oh, so let the butter warm up with
It'll
the
warm
pan.
up a little
Start
with
with
the
a
pan.
cool pan.
With a cool pan.
Okay.
So and then we're gonna add some sugar.
Oh.
Right
How
here.
much is that? Do you-
You're looking at right here, about you know, about half a cup of sugar.
Enough.
Enough sugar so you can make a nice little sauce right there. Just a little more.
Just
Just
a little.
Just a little. And the other thing we're gonna add right here is cinnamon. So we take a little spoon of cinnamon right here and just gonna add that in the top. Now you don't want to add too much because cinnamon can become a little bitter. Even though you have sugar right here, you can still have that, but that gives you the whole aroma of the banana foster. So what you want to do is you want to melt the butter here with the sugar.
And something beautiful happens.
And
when
something
that
beautiful happens. You can actually know like it's the old traditional caramel sauce.
Right. Yeah.
So basically this is what what you're doing when you're doing banana. Now I did a little bit of extra right here because we got 5 bananas that we're going to be adding. So right here the sugar is almost there. You see, it's all wet. But what you don't want the sugar also to start keep cooking. So we're going to go ahead and add the banana.
Start adding the bananas.
So I'll add one part of the bananas right here. Now you can cut the bananas in little wedges. You can cut them like this right here. This is the more traditional way to do a banana foster.
So sliced in half and then
and just do a vertical in there. Or you can just do a little rounds. What happens with the little rounds though, it can cook a little too much.
Yes, that's what happens to me.
Yeah,
and we're doing this all on medium heat? Is that what we're using?
Yeah, actually in medium-high heat.
Medium-high, okay. So
medium-high, because what you want to do too, once you start with the adding the rums, you want it to ignite it, and you have some fun.
Oh, I like fun.
You have some fun. Now,
so that's the trick.
That's the trick.
Cut them in. Okay, got it. Because when I make it for my daughter, I slice it.
Beautiful.
And then sometimes it ends up being too.
So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually take a fork. You want a fork too?
Yes.
And then we're going to take the bananas and we're just going to mix them around like that.
Okay.
Just get the bananas mixed so they can start cooking a little bit. You can see the butter right here. That's going to get all concentrated very quick. But you want to make a lot of...
Do we want to turn them over or no?
No, just keep them cooking on one side, like this. And what you want to do basically is let that cook a little bit so the sugar can actually emulsify with the butter and the banana itself. And then once you cook a little bit, then you can go ahead and turn them. So that way they don't get too much caramelized. You want to cook the banana for about like a minute or two. But you can smell the cinnamon on this. You see, and how is that beginning to be a nice little sauce right here?
Oh yes, thickening
It's
up.
just thickening it up right here, and the bananas are looking great. So go ahead and move it around. So make sure you can get a thing. Move this around, all around like that. Linda, can you pass me around the first one, the 99%? Yep.
Yep. Pass it down. We're coming up on our final minute here.
That's right.
So we're gonna go
the
ahead.
high proof rum.
This is the high proof rum. It's a 99. And then we got dark rum. Now here's the fun part. When you do this right here,
Whoa!
you see that?
Oh my gosh!
So you're gonna bring this right here.
And that's just. How do you get it to light? Oh,
well, what happens?
The gas on the side?
From the gas on the side, and basically the rum. That's it. We're gonna put a little more right here so we can get. Once the flame goes out, you want to turn it off. Because you don't want the rum to go away. You want to have a little bit of rum right here.
I didn't know you actually didn't have to light it, that you can catch the gas from the edge.
You can catch with the edge.
Fun!
What happens
We're trying this at home.
The pan is nice and cool, but you got to be careful. You get the kids to make sure you back away.
Yeah. All right.
And when you do this, you got to make sure that this is right in front of it before you pour it.
Okay.
Okay, because if you pour it from here, you might ignite the whole thing.
Oh boy, all right, we're going to work on our pouring technique. Joey's got his plate out. Shiva, you're already an expert at this. I was very impressed.
So,
Bananas, Foster, Michael's on East. Come celebrate Mardi Gras dishes with them. That is gorgeous. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.
Oh, this with pancakes.